So this video is about combining Twitter and Yahoo Finance. I think it's video number 6 in the selection, and I've made a little image as well that I've kind of like dragged and dropped from my file system. So that's basically what it is. We are going to be doing the same thing as we were doing previously, where we picked off. So we had all of our data, or at least we had the connection working into Twitter, and we're able to do a tweet. But what we were unable to do, or what we were where we were left at, was that we could successfully pull in a ticker, and here we've got like the ticker for Barclays, and get a bid price and an ask price, and we were like, that's good. So we made a little extra stage over there. So what we're going to try to do next is I'm going to try and get the S&P in there and just sort of like see if we can get that working. We'll go down one by one on these line items and see if we can get these working. So we'll try and get the S&P 500 bid price and ask price. So the ticker for it was SPY actually. So we might be able to just run it straight off the bat. And when we had our code, we commented out all the other stuff. So we're just doing the get Yahoo data just to see if we can get something back that's meaningful. So let's just try and do that. I'll hit F5 there, which is going to run the code. We're running our code down at the bottom in the terminal, as opposed to running it in the interactive Python. So it's just launching, and we get a 403, 63, 66, 46. Funnily enough, the bid price is higher than the ask price, maybe because it's closed at the point of running it. So 403, 66, 403, 63. That's a bit interesting. So because I was hoping that maybe, for example, that this would be back to front from this, I'm actually going to pull up Yahoo. So let's just get that one. This is a UK version of Yahoo there, and we can see hopefully but we got gold futures, so that's looking quite nice as well. Might have a little click on that to launch in a different browser, opening a new Chrome tab just as a reminder. So but we're going to look at, we've got Bitcoin here as well, opening a new Chrome tab. I'm just opening it. I might as well open some of these. So that's the Dow. I'm sure we can get the S&P, but let's put SPY. That's an ETF though, so we're probably actually pulling out an ETF price for SPY. Just let's hit return and have a look on that. Yeah, there's a 403 something. So that's Spider S&P 500 ETF, but that might not be the same as the S&P 500. So maybe it's SPX quite often. Yeah, there you go. The S&P 500 is SPX. So because we don't want an ETF, An ETF won't be the same as the index. So that's what it looks like what we want. Max. I'm not sure why that maxing was like that. 1 year. S&P 500 historical data. Not showing a lot of data. I'd expect that the major US index would be the one thing that you would be able to see. Chicago options, price delayed. We've got a 1-day price, we've got a 5-day price, 1 month. Okay, but not a 6-month price. Anyway, we're looking for only daily data. It's a bit interesting because it's the first time I've tried to pull up an index, I think, on Yahoo Finance. But all the same, I guess, yeah, I'll pull it up on another chart anyway. But we've got the ticker, which is SPX. I wonder if I need this little hat in front of it. So let's just put in here, instead of a Y, it's an X. And we'll hit F5 just to run that. And hopefully we get something that looks normal. No, we don't. We've got a key error because, okay, we're looking for company info. I had a feeling that this type of thing might happen because we don't have... It worked for the ETF because the ETF trades like an equity. So like a company effectively, but here we don't get company info. So I guess I'll either revert to the docs or we'll look around what we can get. So this is the dictionary that we were getting back, but it's probably not applicable to to an index. So we want to, instead of getting company info back, so instead of getting the stock info back, we want to get index info. So this is like a search and hunt thing. So let's go back and see if we can go to the docs over here. So I'm literally going to the docs, which are over here, and import. So this is giving us an example with Microsoft, but we don't want an equity, we want an index. Again, that's an equity. These are all equities. SPY. But that was, again, that looked like it was an equity. So I'm wondering how we get off the top of our heads, how we get an index. All we want is a price, basically. So I might attempt to chat GPT as well. Why finance to get SPX price. I'm going to hit refresh, and I'm just going to move it into here so you can see what I'm doing here. So why, I actually pasted, no, not that one. So why finance to get SPX price in Python, something like this. You can use the Y Finance library to get the price in. Let's have a look, and here we go. We've got a nice piece of code there. Okay, so the S&P ticker. Right, there we go. Oh, we just want history one day. That looks like it might be good enough. I'll just zoom in. So let's zoom in if we can. Control plus probably, or this one, yeah. There we go, just so that we can see what's going in. It gives us kind of like a little, this is where ChatGPT is quite useful, because, you know, I'd have to search it up and look for the docs and sift through it. But this is, we've got the import Y Finance already. So basically create a Y Finance ticker object for the S&PX, and it looks like it's this. So, and then get a history period equals 1 day. So I'm just hoping that it's kind of like the last day's price. So history period equals 1 day. Maybe there's something else as well that we can do, like current price. We'll try this one out to start with. So in fact, I'm not going to copy all of the code because obviously we've got the first bit of it, but I think this piece should be good enough. So I'll just move that over to the side there, and I'll move this one out of the way. And so we've got get index info, but it's going to be like this now. The one thing that's annoying with Python indentation that you don't get with curly brace languages is everything you have to make sure the indentation's right. But when you copy and paste it out of docs, it kind of like goes into the front, because so you have to sort your own indentation out, almost like getting it into line. So there we go. So get index info. This is for all the indices now, I guess. So, you know, I'll put some more hashes there, because this is for all the indices, but we're starting with the first one. So Yahoo Finance ticker is that one. SPX ticker is what. Okay, fine. It's almost like we're converting something GSPX into. I'm going to take that and paste it into Yahoo just to see what that actually returns anyway, because I was expecting SPX. So let's see what GSPX is. Index S&P. There we go. Okay. So it looks like it's the same sort of thing. Maybe this is where the, yeah. So this is better data. So we found better data. That's good. Looks like, okay, S&P real-time price. So it looks, I wonder how real-time it is. It looks relatively good. I would only know during the US hours. I think we're outside of the US hours. So it looks like we have to create a ticker here. I'm not sure why we couldn't just, oh, because we had to pull in the ticker part here. So we need to now create a ticker and then get a history of a ticker. Period equals 1 day. And presumably then in the chat GPT, we're printing out. So we're just getting in chat GPT, it just looks like we're getting the S&P price, which is a little bit better because I don't really care for the bid and ask, not for the purpose of creating an index that's made of indices. So that should be enough. So in that respect, we don't need to do company bid and company ask anymore. It's not relevant to us in the sense that, so we had that Yahoo Finance ticker up here anyway. So there we go. That can all go. In fact, I guess we can just use this. So I could have put this right in here. So really, paste that in there. We're just going to call it ticker. And the reason why is because we're going to make a list afterwards. So Control Z just to make sure, right? And then on the ticker basically will be here. So paste that in there. We can do ticker.history, hold on, Control Z, just making sure. That's it. YF ticker. Data equals YF ticker. Okay, so we've got to do data there, not ticker. Sorry. Right. So let's get that in there. There we go. Data equals that. So this is now redundant, but it helped us get along the way. We've got our correct ticker. We convert our ticker into a Yahoo Finance ticker, and that goes into this variable data, which is going to get stuff back. And from that, we want to get the S&P price, or we're just going to call it the price, not the S&P price. And from that, we want to then print price is equal to, and I might actually just use the F string because it's a bit more convenient to do. So we just do F string here. Price equals, we'll make it look nice, price. So I think that should be fine. I've omitted the thingy, that bit there, and we don't need this get stock info. So we're right down to just getting what we want. So get price data for the S&P. In fact, we could even possibly omit that one, although we might note that. Well, we'll keep it there for now. Control ZZ. The reason why is because I don't remember that GSPX is going to be the S&P, or at least maybe we could put the little thing over here just to save a bit of space. So ticker equals that, and each one maybe, I'll put a little comment there. That means that we don't need to have this because we now know what we're doing is we're assigning a ticker. We're going to put these all into lists or dictionaries, either a list or a dictionary, we'll decide. So we'll put this into a list, a ticker, and then from that we can just pull the data straight out, and from that we can pull the price straight out. It probably looks like we might use a dictionary just eyeballing the data, but we can just check that this runs, and we can return something back. So this looks like what we actually want. So I'm going to hit F5 now on it and just pray that it all runs. Let me just close this little search menu thing as well because we don't need it. And it's returned something. It looks like it's returned, I think it's returned a pandas data frame is what it looks like it's returned. So I could actually get, I could print the type of it. So we can sort of like just on the line below, print type of, I guess, yeah, type of price, there we go. just to see what we get back, like what it's actually returning. I'm quite sure it looks like a pandas data frame is what we're getting back, which is fine because we can extract things out of it. No, I'm getting an error message there. Type error, data frame object is not callable. That's an interesting one. Okay, it's telling us that it's a data frame though. Why is it there? So, okay. Because I only wanted to get the price on it, so that's interesting. Why I can't do it? So why I can't do? Oh, sorry, because I've typed in price, not print. There we go. You see a live error. I'm not going to edit this out, so I'm just going to put it there. And I was literally staring at it. Sometimes you don't see your own errors, which is the worst bit of coding on your own. I'll probably see this in the video afterwards and cringe over it, but I'm not going to remove it. There we go. So it's a data frame basically, which means that for the purpose of testing, I might do this, which is this doesn't affect the actual code itself, but I can put it into a little compartment like that, and I'll put this one into a compartment as well. This is what creates these Jupyter cells, just so that I can do a quick test here, which is I can do a get Yahoo data like this, and I don't need to do anything else actually for it because it's just literally running it. There's no arguments coming into the function, so I can do a get Yahoo data, and I presume it will create a data frame and actually print the data frame. It hopefully put it into the Jupyter variables. So I'm just going to run this on its own. YF is not defined. Okay, because I guess over here, if I was doing that, I would need to import Yahoo Finance imported into the interactive Python. So I can do that just by running this just like that. So that's done all of the imports as well as doing the reconnection into the Twitter API. Not that we need it for this part. We just needed to get the Yahoo data function working. So now we won't have a fail on the call of the YF because it's in our memory. And what I could have done was I could have put it over here and sort of done import, but there's no point because it is only a little quick test basically. So Yahoo component, just for the purpose of commenting something. So I run this now and it should work, and we get this data frame that comes back, and I'm just hoping that it comes back in the data frame here, but it didn't. So what I will do instead is get Yahoo data is I will return back this price, because if I return the price back, then I'll type in price here. Hopefully that will extract the data. Will it all go into price in the price variable, and I'm hoping it will come out in the Jupyter variables. That's a nice thing, and that's kind of like why you don't need to do the debugging. You could do the debugging, and I could sort of like get the data frame that way, but I'm just hoping that it comes out into the Jupyter variables. You can get the snippets small enough that you're effectively debugging. So control return, and there we go. That's quite nice. So we've got price here. That's our variable. We've got a data frame, and I'll probably highlight this. So let me just, there we go, so like draw on it. There's our price variable. That's a name over there, and it's of type data frame. So fantastic, that's working there. It's got a size. It's one. I think it's what that means, 1 row by 7 columns wide, because I can already see there's a few columns in here. We can't see all of the values yet. If I expand this column, we probably see a few more. No, it's kind of like truncated it. But the purpose of this column here isn't so much to like tell you exactly everything, but sort of like to give you an idea of what's there. But you've got this little piece here, just remember this little arrow, which I'm going to which is going to launch a new tab. So I'm going to click on this little thing now, and it's going to launch a new tab up here somewhere. it won't, let me see, obviously it won't launch it over our Twitter thing there. That's my little image, but it's going to launch it somewhere up there, and we'll see what the data frame looks like in a nicer way. I could have, by the way, just done this price. Because this behaves like a Jupyter notebook, this would actually print the data frame into the interactive terminal here on the left hand side. So somewhere over here where this ran, a new bit of code will run and would actually get the interactive thing if I run it that way. So I'll do that too. So there's two methods to seeing this quite nicely. And there's the actual data frame. And now we've got like an open, a high, a low, and a close, which is quite nice, because probably pick something like it'd probably be the closing price. That's pretty standard. It's like in finance, although, because I think, I wonder if we want to tweet if we want to tweet every hour, the open, high, low, and close won't necessarily work. So, because we want a current price, so we might have to, I wonder if we've got, we might be able to do something like this. 1 hour or 1 minute, and that will be a bar. So what these data points are, I'm hoping, if I say this right, is you get these bars like this. So like they look like that. That's what those bars look like. And that's basically the open price over here. Let me just delete that one out until I go in another color. That's the open price, this first little bit of the bar. That's the closing price. That depends, it depends on the color of the bar. So if this bar was a green bar, so if we had a green bar in here, I can't fill it, but if this was a green bar, the closing price is higher than the opening price, and if the bar is red, it's the other way round. So you've got this open price and this closed price concept, but you've also got a high price over here. So that's effectively the high price. And then we've got a low price over here. L for low price down here. So we've got everything that we need in terms of quality of information, but that was for a day. But if I'm presuming that if we put for a minute, that we would get the price, that same bar for a minute channel, 1M. I'm hoping it's not month. So, but I'll have a try, because like 1H might be less ambiguous in that sense. So let's get rid of this and let's do a rerun of that. And it works for the 1 minute thing. I'm just going to check it's not, because I wonder if 1M stands for 1 minute. In fact, does a date start from here? 22:03:30. I think this might be a minute one. 4446. I'll only be able to test it intraday, but hourly, there's no M. The reason why I'm not sure if M is minute, I have to check that, is because M might stand for month. So if D stood for day. So in fact, let me just, where is my thing over there? I'm just going to pull this one back. And over here, this was period equals 1 day. I'll just type in here, change period to 1 minute. There we go. Because I don't know if it's, I don't know if M stands for minute or whatever, and it'll be in the docs and you could look it up. But because we got ChatGPT, we can be a little bit lazier. Okay, it's got interval equals 1M. But I don't want a whole bunch of history, as in like the whole day's thing. So period equals 1 day. So I'm presuming that I wonder if I'm going to put in 1 second. Make the period 1 minute and the interval 1 second. can't return doesn't work. Is it control return on this? Control return, that's not working. Okay, let's have a little look. I just press run on it. Okay, does not provide intraday data for 1 sec. Okay, for 1 second, therefore we cannot do that. Okay, now it's doing a whole bunch of stuff. Definitely don't want that. I wonder if 1 min. There's 1 min over there. Let's just have a little bash of that. I'm just trying to get the unambiguousness. So 1 min and control return. That looks like it, because min is not the same as month. So it looks like we can get the last minute's worth of data, which would be more than satisfactory. So that's quite good. So it's coming back as a pandas data frame, and we just want the end of the minute period. So we don't need to know that it's a pandas data frame anymore. So we've got that over there, the class core pandas data frame. All we need to do is extract the piece that we want. So, and the piece that we want, we want the closing price. So that's the price as a data frame. So this is a data frame, and we want to get back from the data frame, I guess. I'm just trying to think because we want to get back something like close. I'm just going to attempt to put in close, but that might be the whole column. So close. Why that got an underscore? I'm presuming that's probably have to put it into it. It is actually a data frame though, so it should recognize that. We'll just do data frame equals, okay, this is where, and I probably had this up above. No, okay, so we'll import pandas as PD. That's, so import. It's funny because it's not, pandas is tremendously used, and NumPy. Pandas as PD. Right. It's used massively, like in Python everywhere, and it's shipped with Anaconda, but it's not shipped naturally with Python. So it is an import. So it's something that you have to pip install. So you have to do pip install pandas in the terminal over here. You have to do pip install pandas to get it working, or to install it. Pip install pandas. It's kind of like so whenever I've done like an installation of Python, like pretty much the first couple of things that I do is a pip install pandas and a pip install numpy, because you're pretty much nearly always going to be using those. They're so powerful, those things. So we've imported pandas as PD. I hope I did it as PD. That's the standard. Yeah, import pandas as PD. So we've got the pandas data frame there, and we can put data frame. DF stands for data frame, and this is a common pattern, so an idiom. DF equals pandas PD dot data frame. There we go, and then price. I'm hoping that will work a little bit nicer than just getting the price. So, and then here we can put in DF. There we go. And I'm wondering why that is like underscored over there, as if it doesn't like it. The square brackets was not closed. Why have I? Oh, there we go. Okay, so that was me being blind again. I probably don't need to do that. Let's just do that here though. Okay, an F string. Oh, okay, let's get this right. Oh, okay, right, classic mistake. So I mentioned this in like probably one of the first few videos that I did. Price. Okay, and the price is actually a data frame. I don't need to convert it into a data frame. You can't put single quotes in single quotes, so I've got to use double quotes here because I've got single quotes outside here on the F string. So like that's the classic mistake. So I've been going and fixing a lot of stuff that didn't need to be fixed. So I presume now that I can just put in the close, which is just this column over here, and it, in order to avoid another mistake, that's a capital C, so paste that in there. So it's a capital C. I always copy and paste because of typos, but that would have thrown another error message. So I don't need to convert this into a pandas data frame because it was a pandas data frame. I was just calling it incorrectly. So I can still avoid importing pandas as PD. One less module to use. Delete. If we need it, we can put it in, but we don't need it for the purpose of this, so it's gone. And now we should be able to get the price, the return price. In fact, we're just going to return a number, which is the price close now. So we were giving back a data frame. Well, we can just print the close. Let's just see if we get a close. I don't know what we're going to get, so it might fail. So let's just run it. So price equals, it looks like we've prices all of this, and it looks like, so that's element number 1, that's element number 2, that's element number 3, that's element number 4, or is it? Right, okay, I'm just going to return this back then, because I think that's returned back a data frame like that. So I'm just going to do that and just going to do that. So close, because there we go. Just run that and see what we get back. Okay, that one didn't work. Return price close. Oh, sorry. Okay, we get price. So that goes back into price anyway. So let's just run that. So it's going to, I think this is going to be a series. This looks like it's a series. So I'm going to type. We just have to muck around with these things to figure out what they are. Once you figure them out, yeah, it's a series. So I'm sure that probably it'll be something like item number 1. I'm just wondering what it would actually be. All I want to get back, we don't want to get back, that's the dates. Well, actually, I guess if I go to the Jupyter variables now, price, and click on price, it's got one thing which looks like a date. Let's have a look and see what it is in the data viewer. So we've got a date and a close. So I'm just wondering if we return back an index, basically index 1, for example. I think if we try and get index 1, that might work. Let's hit return, or close. No, that doesn't work. I wonder if we have to do a close and a close. Copy that. Just because when we did close, it's returned us back something that looks like this, which is a series. Element 1 of that is date. So it goes back to the series. I literally just want to get that number back, and that's annoying. So let's just go back here. I'll run it enough times that I'll get it, like brute force. So we get that back, and let's try the first element then in that case. There we go. Fantastic. So that's what we wanted to get back finally. So element 0 of that was the 4050. Actually, maybe that made sense, possibly, because that's the first, yeah, index 0 here. kind of like omitted the date part of it, funnily enough. So like if I asked how I'd get the date back, I'm not necessarily sure, but we don't hugely care. Like I guess we could attempt to extract it, but we don't hugely care because all we want is the last price from the minutely chart. So that's good. We're able to print the price, and so this is the price effectively. I'm going to call it data frame, right, because it's actually a data frame, and the closing price is going to be all of this. Well, actually, so it's going to be the price data frame of all of that now, because price doesn't exist. So it will be all of this. Copy that, equals this, but this is now price underscore data frame. So as in we've extracted the one piece out of the data frame that we want. So what we are now getting back, because we're not, afterwards we don't care about the indices and this and that and how the data frame looks. We want to get back a piece of data that's useful for us. So we want price underscore close, and we also want to return back price underscore close, and we don't care about the type of it anymore, so that's good. And what we're getting back is the closing price. It doesn't matter what we call this now, but we can print this out as well just for our level of comfort, but we sort of like already printed it, so just print out price just like that. This is just for our testing, and run it, and finally we do get what we want, which is this price here, up here, and then the price here. So we don't need to show this back. Now we said that we wanted to get a list of them, or we wanted to get a dictionary of them. We could choose either or. I think it might be quite nice to do a dictionary, because we can then put the tickers as the keys and populate the prices as the values. So that will be quite nice. So I think because we've gone on, you've sort of like seen in real time me iterate towards finding it, searching on Yahoo and searching and doing a search using ChatGPT and attempting to go through some docs, and there was my beautiful creation of the Yahoo Finance thing that I dragged and dropped from somewhere into there as well. That's our price viewer. We don't need that one open now. And so we're over here. So I've gone through quite a bit. In the next section, we're going to, and I haven't done a video. So another video on the to-do list is, pandas and NumPy, and actually importing modules, which I said I'll do actually in the previous video anyway, like as in importing modules. So need to get about doing that, but assuming we've got that, we know how to work with dictionaries. So this will be the first time that we're going to have worked with dictionaries, and we're going to do it for something practical, so a real use case example. So I think that'll be the end of the video. And one thing is, I haven't asked in any video, and I've probably done about 40 of them, if the followers could, if you're watching this, if you could subscribe, because I want to try to get to 1,000 followers or something, because that'll be a nice milestone to get to, and I'm probably like 980 away from 1,000. So it'd be very nice if you could click on the follow link somewhere. That'd be very useful. And that's it. So I'll see you in the next session.